HIV positive Stephaine Brown shares her incredible story of living with the disease and why it's no longer a death sentence.
It came back positive. This was after a week after my doctor's appointment that it came up positive. Now, mind you, again, I didn't think anything of it, completely by surprise and shocked. And I had to think back to when I did have unprotected sex with a young man. And when I say that, I bring that up because there's a responsibility when it comes to sex. And at 19, I lost my virginity, but I didn't know the maturity that I had to have when it came to having sex. So I'm laying down with this man, and he decides that he doesn't want to wear a condom. I let that be my decision as well, and it led me to having a positive diagnosis from the basic education that we were given that is sexually transmitted. And it's not always that someone is sexually transmitted; they could be born with it. But that was me getting educated on it, and still being educated more and more. I started to study as much as I could. After that, I was on the grind. I was going to Fayetteville State at the time. I had just finished up my freshman year, and I entered into my sophomore year. But to hear that kind of diagnosis, because of the stigma that's on it, immediately I thought I had a death sentence over my head. I thought that I was the biggest burden in my family. I had to tell my mother. I had to tell my boyfriend that I was with at the time when I found out. I told them right after I found out, and they supported me. I started going to I was at another hospital for about 3 days. I was in D.C. at Walter Reed, where they were picking and probing me, and I had to see a psychiatrist. I had to see a list of doctors. I had to get tests ran on me just to see what kind of medication would work for me, what wouldn't work for me. Just being picked and probed. I felt like a guinea pig, just to be honest. When I tell my story, I'm very honest, and I try to make people think. And one, I don't want anybody to fall into my shoes, especially at 19, at any age, 13, 19, 24.